mechanical engineer, and I'm graduating this May.
I'm Nihal, I'm a computer scientist, and I'm also graduating in May.
I'm Allie, I'm a senior, and I'm studying applied math and music.
And this instrument we have here is called the Bird Box. It's sort of a arpeggiator with a randomized notes, with a looping function, and also the ability to change the note velocities that you're playing, the note banks that you're using, the octaves that you're using, and then also change a bunch of different effects parameters. So we were just pretty much there, just changing the certain banks of notes you can use, changing a lot of effects, and kind of pressing in and out, and then looping with this button here, and changing the octaves. We have some four-way switches, which you use to control note velocity. So on the lowest setting, the note's off. Up one, you're at 30. Up another, you're at 70, and then up finally at 120 is the last one. We have these potentiometers, which you would use to change BPM, volume, an LFO, cutoff frequency, delay, filter frequency, and then you have the FSRs underneath them, which we use to trigger reverb, a modulation wheel, which changes the amount of an FM modulator, phase right here, which changes the phase of our two oscillators that we're using on our patch, and then noise, which you could kind of hear, which is under our volume. Then we have this slider up here, which just changes the bank of notes that's being triggered by our max patch. Rotary encoder, which we use to add plus or minus one to the notes that are being sent through max, and then to press in to use looping.
So how many inputs are there?
44.
44?
Yeah, just one right now. Yeah, with a lot of wires. The first challenge of this instrument was to figure out a way to do the note triggering, where you have randomized notes coming in, but you also have set note velocities. So we basically create this kind of bank of 8 notes where you can set the note velocities with these switches, and that's kind of saved in this bank, and then you send through one at a time, one note after another through the bank, so you can hear the kind of consistency of the note velocities. And then kind of the same thing is also done with the notes themselves, so that you can actually loop. So you would have this little bank of the last 8 notes that were played, and then when you press the loop button, it just loops those 8 notes instead of refreshing them. And then we have this BPM knob, which just changes the rate of a metro, which is triggering the bank 1 through 8, or notes 1 through 8.
So we take the number coming in from the slide potentiometer, and then we have 5 different note banks. One has 3 notes, one has 5 notes, one has 4 notes. Then we have a whole tone scale and a Western Standard scale. And then we repeated some notes within each note bank, so that there would be emphasis on the fundamental and the fifth in each note bank to give some more coherent musical sounds. And then we have a randomized function that randomly selects a note from each bank and then sends it out through the note out. When you turn the rotary encoder 1 click forward, it goes up, shifts the whole key up by 1/2 step, and then the same to go downwards.
The hard part of this design was trying to make a potentiometer that could rotate without always kind of hitting the FSR. So what we tried to do is we tried to have the potentiometer knob raised up off of the box a little bit by a spring, and then have the FSR resting under a washer, kind of underneath the spring. So then when you press the knob down, it'll press down the washer and then therefore press down the FSR. But when you release the knob, the spring will pop it back up, so there's no pressure on the FSR anymore.
I guess like our original concept is to have like a curved kind of like structure, we were looking at that one a lot, like the conversations across the dinner table. Because originally we planned for this to be a collaborative instrument, so first of all, a lot bigger. Then second of all, like everything a lot more spaced out and probably more controllers on there. So definitely some kind of curved structure that